It was a great privilege to talk with Deet Eman about her amazing involvement in the Dutch resistance during the Second World War. I think the thing that really struck me was how much energy and time it took to keep hundreds of people alive during the war. Join me as we watch the Lord working through this amazing woman of God. So you had to go off and get the ration cards, what, every month? Is it once a month? Did you have these once a month?
They were, yeah, that was the thing. We needed them every month. And they were only they lasted a month, 3 days or 4 days before we had a new one. They were brought in by the government in every village and city. So we had to do the robberies on those 3 days that they were there.
So just as they were coming into the offices around those 2 or 3 days, you would have to break into the office?
Well,
how did you get in there?
Well, that was the interesting. We always took cities and villages where we knew somebody who worked there.
Oh, okay.
And when the Germans were in charge of all those offices, and the people wanted to quit, and the Germans said, no, you stay there, but they were under the Germans. So that was our blessing that all the Dutch people was still, they weren't allowed to quit.
Okay, so they left the Dutch in charge and you could get them from your friends.
And then we tied the guys up and we bound them, and then they told us where the cards were, so we took the cards.
So you had to actually tie these people up, right?
Well, yes, because when next day the Gestapo came and all those those rations have disappeared.
Right, you had to show them that they weren't the ones that had done
arrested.
it. That's right.
So,
exactly.
But he had helped us. So then we tied him up, and that he said, yeah, I couldn't do a thing. They came and they tied me up and they took
So you actually saved these people's lives by tying them up and protecting them, because the Nazis would have taken them maybe and executed them or shot them or something.
But it was our blessing that they weren't allowed to quit. We needed them. We needed the cards. There was nothing anymore. The last winter in Amsterdam and Rotterdam, they ate cats and dogs.
Cats and dogs.
There was no food anymore. Yeah. And we needed it for the people who were in hiding. So then, I always laugh now, but because in Germany they made a film, and it was so funny. Because we first went on our knees and we prayed and we said, Lord, will you please give that our robbery goes okay?
Lord, bless our thieves. Right, bless the thieves.
First we asked for a blessing and then we did the robbery.
You did the robbery.
And I think now there are many robberies, but they don't think to pray first.
Yeah. So you actually had a responsibility to support a lot of people, and so every month you had to get those cards.
We had about 200, and our group needed
200. You had 200 ration cards a month.
We picked everything, and we helped other groups.
Okay, so you were kind of at the center of this, and then they would go out all over the Netherlands, right? These ration cards and stuff in different places so people could eat. Yeah.
And while they were doing the robbery, there was, of course, you had to I was one of the guards often that you had to let them know if there was any Gestapo thing. Well, that happened, so. And there was a little office here where the robbery was, and then I was at this road and another there that you gave a signal, and I stood to tell them that the Gestapo was coming or something. It was.
What was it like I mean, you were around 20 years old, 20. What was it like for a 20? Were you just sitting there afraid? Were you nervous? What were you feeling when you were in these robberies?
No, I was so furious that they came into our country.
So you're just mad.
I was mad.
Okay.
I think that drove me a lot.
Yeah.
And also knowing that it was very wrong, that they were after God's people. So I felt that, no, I was always and for years after the war, I didn't want to go to Germany.
Yeah.
I held it.
You just had an anger about the way they had done your country and all of the Jewish people, and But then all of a sudden it dawned on me that I had no right to pray the Our Father, forgive like we forgive those who trespass against us, and they surely trespassed against us. And I thought, if I can't forgive, how can I expect forgiveness from God? Yeah. As I reflect on Deet Eman's life and the way that the Lord used her during the Second World War to really save the lives of hundreds of people, particularly the Jewish people, I was really struck with the whole idea of that truth that one person's life can really make a difference. It was amazing to me how one small Dutch woman, 20 years old, was able to go out and to be involved in a way that affected so many people.
And I think her life is a challenge to myself, and I think to all of us, that really one person can make a difference. And maybe for us, as we think about Diet's life, we might reflect for ourselves, what can we do in this hour and in this time, in wherever the Lord has placed us, to really make a difference in influencing other people for the Lord? Surely the Lord has placed each of us in some place or some situation where our life and the influence we have in others will make a profound difference. And I was challenged listening to her that I want to be that person, and I want to make that difference for the people around me. And I hope that you will feel the same way too.